Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. Welcome, and I hope you guys have all had a great week so far. We definitely have seen some nice pips in the works. We're going to talk about those in just a moment, but you can see that we're just moments away from the close of the markets here, and looks like the Dow is going to have a pretty bad close today. The S&P, everything else here, oil's just right back down again. Things are running down, big red day. Now, as far as news goes, we haven't seen anything significant really this week so far. It's been pretty, sparse. Coming into tomorrow, though, this is all the news that we have been waiting for. Monday's been slow, Tuesday's been slow, and we've still managed to take some great trades on the pound dollar, on the Aussie dollar. We've got some good movements this week, but it has been a little bit choppy. But we do have some big news coming out. Trade balance for the U.S. That's going to be a big mover. Trade balance for Canada as well. That'll be a mover. 11 a.m. This is going to be the big guy to be watching. FOMC meeting minutes. This gets the market moving like crazy every time. And then we have Australian employment numbers coming out tomorrow afternoon, so that's going to be big as well. So all of the kind of quiet non-news events that we've seen the last couple of days are going to turn around big time tomorrow on Wednesday. So just kind of keep an eye on that. Okay, let's get real quick here to what we have going on these euro and all these other pairs. Again, we grabbed a nice trade on that Aussie dollar today, and we'll talk about that. But it was a very nice little retracement and took us out down here. Great little move there. And we'll talk about some continued possible entries on that Aussie dollar. But for now, let's look at this euro dollar. As you can see, the euro is now, we have to go to the weekly chart to see that it's actually broken all of the recent lows. Huge head and shoulders pattern, huge head and shoulders pattern. And now our next lows, our next major support coming up here are going to be the 119 area, 118, 80, 75, 80. And those are lows all the way from back in May of 2010. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. So what are we going to do coming up now? Is the euro dollar totally oversold? Not totally oversold, but decently oversold. It's definitely continued down strong, but as you see right here, if you look at our 4-hour chart, we have a nice little channel that it's been just bouncing in between and doing pretty well in there. And you can see it a little bit better on the 1-hour chart, running along the tops there, bouncing, running back up to the tops, and so it's closer actually to the top of the channel than to the bottom of the channel. You can see that the bottom of the channel would potentially go down into this general area here and probably give us somewhere around another 80 to 90 pips. So really our next big area is going to be about 121.50. So 121.50 is going to be our next spot to watch. And I'll keep an eye on this 123.20 right here. If we get a break above that, I think we could see some decent upside, but I don't think we're going to get a break above that. There could be a very short-term trade at the break above this resistance now right here, which is about 122.65, and keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on 122.65. Don't let that slip away because that could give us a little short-term trading opportunity. But what I'm really looking for is more just this little 5-minute chart. You can see that it's kind of lining up here and giving us some possible trading opportunities coming up. And it looks like it's actually trying to break this trend line and give us some further downside. So watch this trend line. The level to get below is going to be probably about 122.45, give or take. And it's trying to set up right now and do that. So keep an eye on that. And actually, it's trying to move. So again, the first target on that would be about 122.30, and then then about 122.00. So just keep an eye on that little short-term move, and we may get some further downside coming up there. Pound dollar, we grabbed some nice pips on the pound dollar last night on this little run right up here. It took us out. I actually exited about 5 or 6 pips early, and it went exactly to our take profit and turned all the way around. So it was a safe play, but we still grabbed some nice profits on there, just shy of 30 pips on this little run here is what we took, and it turned out really well. Now we've got this channel here. 155.50 is definitely on the radar. We get a break above this, and we've got 30 to probably 60 pips of upside movement if we break 155.50. Keep an eye on that. But if we go down to the smaller time frames here, you can see, and I don't focus all the time on the small time frames, but you can see on the 5 and the 15-minute chart that we have these kinds of things happening where there's just little short-term trend lines. Things are kind of choppy, but they've been bouncing to the tops and bottoms in the channel, and And so if this pound breaks out and gets out of that little short-term trend line, then I think we're going to start to see some nice downside. And I'd like to see this get probably below about 155.15, 155.10, somewhere in that general area. And then let's trade it back down towards these lows. Again, look for probably 20 to 25 pips on the break of this pound dollar. So that's going to be a nice little guy to look for. Euro yen, very similar to the euro dollar. A little break above this trend line and above this resistance right here of 97.50 could give us some upside. So keep an eye on that. 97.50 will be something to watch for, but this one looks very much like the euro dollar in that it's just kind of staying in this channel very nicely in this channel, and it's very much towards the top of the channel. So most likely we're going to see some continued downside on this pair. It's been bouncing in that channel very nicely. It's coming down into some support here. There's definitely support, so that's going to put up a little bit of a fight. But you can see here on the smaller time frames, it's just kind of bottoming out here around 97.25. So probably a good clean break of 97.20 should get this pair going further down. So remember, pause this, mark the levels on your charts, and be ready for these trades when they come, because they're going to come with some quickness. And we'll try to get into as many as we can in the group, but we can only catch what we can catch. So keep an eye on these levels. The Aussie dollar right now is getting extra choppy, so we did really well to take some pips on this breakout and on this movement here. I don't know that I'm going to try to get into anything else for at least a little while. I think this bigger picture right here is going to break, and we're going to get some bigger downside, but that's probably going to be after the FOMC news tomorrow, which we'll have a live session for that. So we'll keep an eye on that. So everyone just kind of watch these levels and see how things go and see how things are moving, and be ready. Gold, once again, was a big factor in everything here. We saw gold just crawling up this trend line right here, stopped dead in its tracks at 1600, and now it's well below that and back into the resistance of 1560, support of 1560 and 1550 area. So keep an eye on those. We've got some great levels, but really the big ones to watch are going to be the euro dollar for now, probably the pound dollar on that short-term breakout down, and the euro yen on the break of that support around 97.20.25. So keep an eye on those. Best of luck, and we'll have more details posted in the chat. Thanks a bunch, everyone. We'll see you there.